Welcome to Pure Green Fisher's Chair Chat Conversations for our very first inaugural episode. My name is Chasten Harmon. I'm the owner here at Pure Green Fishers, and I am here with our very first guest, Vicky Lynn with Rooted Within Wellness, and I'm so excited to have you here for our first episode. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm wonderful. I'm so thrilled to be a part of this with you.
Me too.
Yes, just to have this honor. So thank you.
Thank you. One of the reasons why I'm so excited to have you here is because I can confidently say that out of all the places that I envision myself in my life, I never, ever envision myself sitting in this chair.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about all of the events and all the things that have had to happen that have led to me being here in this chair, in this space, and have led you to be here in this chair and in this space, I think what a miraculous world that we're living in that takes us on these rides with rivers and turns. And I know that the little I know about you and your journey, that you can probably relate deeply
You have nailed it all.
to that feeling.
Yes, beautifully said.
Yeah.
Yes, beautifully spoken.
Of finding yourself in a place that is a beautiful place, but a place that you're
Never
like,
imagined.
yeah, never imagined you'd be.
Yes.
Yeah,
And to be able to find the joy in the journey
exactly.
is the gift out of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I definitely put this morning as one of those just joyful moments that I never saw coming, nor could I have expected, or the path life takes you on.
Yeah.
But to have that awareness to keep trusting and following the steps and looking through the doors that are being opened to help carry you through some of those times that you least expect on your path.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the biggest things I've learned is that no matter what environment you're in and what you're going through, there are always little pockets of treasure
yes.
to be found.
Oh, 100%. Well, just as you were saying that, what came to mind is find your people. Find your people.
Yeah.
Because they're there.
Yeah.
And none of this in life is meant to do alone.
Yeah.
But when you can walk in alignment with other people to help support you and lift you up and carry you, and I know we're going to get into all that, it just truly makes a world of difference. So thank you for being that for me. And being able to walk into your doors was a big piece of my story. So thank you.
I appreciate that. And I'm so glad you walked in and we could sit here and have this conversation.
Yes.
So let's start with what's on the menu.
Please.
Part of the Chair Chat is featuring our menu. And today we are featuring our hot immunity ciders, which I'm excited that we're starting off with this product because this is a new seasonal product for us. It's on our winter wellness menu. And this season, we're actually doing this in partnership with the Fishers Youth Initiative, and you can see that their mentees have decorated our little cups here. And so 10% of all of the cider sales for all of our winter season go toward the Fishers Youth Initiative. So I love this cider. It's my favorite kind of immunity tonic. It's got apple, lemon, ginger, cayenne. It's great for the winter.
So fantastic. I literally will leave my warm house because I crave this, and I come here for it. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I hope it's on the menu all year.
It is. And look, guys, it's just the wake-up call.
Yes.
It's just the wake-up call hot.
With the cinnamon stick.
With a cinnamon stick. The cinnamon stick
Yep.
makes everything better.
It makes everything better.
So I think this is the perfect drink to start off our
100%.
conversation.
And I wasn't aware of the Fishers Initiative. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. I love that.
We've got little
That's
decorations.
wonderful.
So cheers.
Cheers. Here we go.
It's warm. It's so cold
Oh,
outside.
there it is.
So I love to ask this question. Please, what was your favorite snack growing up as a kid?
That's a great question.
I know, it's so telling about, relationships to food starting early on, right?
1,000%. And it does start early on.
Yeah.
And I grew up in a big family, and we pretty much were always arm wrestling for the snacks.
Fighting for the cereal.
Oh, 1,000%.
Okay.
So I would probably say, now I'm dating back some years, but anything in a package is how, that was our lifestyle.
Yeah.
So yeah, sadly to say, anything in a package, popcorn, Doritos. We were big on Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. Okay. So food was pretty processed.
Era. Oh,
for you growing up.
Processed.
And it's like you loved it.
Oh, it's all we knew.
Yeah.
And again, loved my parents, loved how they provided for us. We were a big family, and it was buy in bulk.
Yeah.
And, every man for themselves.
Okay.
So yes, my life has dramatically changed since then.
And was this the same with like meals too? Were their meals more processed?
No. My mom didn't love to cook.
Okay.
So it was more out of necessity of having to feed the family. I definitely grew up in the clean your plate club. And that's just, it was sit at the table until your plate's cleared.
Yeah.
And I even carried that a little bit into my family, to be honest. If my kids were here, they'd give you some stories.
Interesting to hear you say that.
Proud of, yes. But that's just how we were raised. And again, I have a few decades on you, but it was definitely food was not to go to waste.
Mm-hmm.
And you're given what, you eat what you're given, no complaining.
Yeah.
And stay at the table till your plate's clean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So life has changed.
Yeah.
We've changed as a whole of how we look at food and what food is meant for. And yeah, so and truly all of my kids are adult kids now. But when I look, I mirrored much of how I was raised, because we do the best that we can do with what we're given, and that's what I knew.
Exactly.
Yet over the course of my life, as well as theirs, I started seeing that shift of how this can look different.
And when did that shift start to happen for you? When did you start to feel or
that it
see
could be different?
Yeah. The possibility of a different relationship.
Decades. I mean, this has been decades. And again, if you do a part 2, invite my kids in, because they could give you some stories. And
like, which chapter do you want to talk about?
Exactly. Well, and it's funny, my oldest, in comparison to my youngest, truly experienced 2 different moms. Because that's just what came with growth for me.
Yeah.
And it's what I knew as I was raising my first compared to what I knew as I was raising my last.
You do what you know until you know better, and then when you know better, you do better.
You do different. And so my first and second, probably even third, definitely saw this transition happen with my last 2. I have 5.
Yeah.
With a total of 13 years apart. So there's a lot of growth as a mom.
Yeah.
In those, and I'm still growing as a mom. That doesn't, and I don't think we ever arrive at this, I've got it all figured out. I would say when I started making that transition to it could be better, a couple things happened kind of all simultaneously. One big one, and 2 big ones, where I had some pretty significant health challenges with my children.
Okay.
My daughter first, who's my baby girl, she was born, she suffered a level 3 brain hemorrhage at birth.
Oh my gosh.
We were told she may never walk, talk, or get out of a bed.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And this was at birth?
It was shortly after birth. We aren't quite sure when, but we detected it when she was 5 weeks old. She's my 5th. And so an experience like that rocks your world.
Yeah.
And then a year later, my then 3-year-old, who was the next in line, was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And and I always share this because it's significant to me, but both of those instances, the brain hemorrhage for Ava and the cancer diagnosis with Luke, both of those fell on Mother's Day, 2006 and then 2007. So those are two big life events.
Yeah.
Obviously for the entire family. It doesn't become just a one person show. The whole family wants it.
Right.
And so fortunately, when Luke was diagnosed with cancer, Ava was well enough through that I knew we could check off a lot of the real major life concerns, because we didn't know she was an infant.
Mm-hmm.
It was a level 3 brain hemorrhage, one of the more severe. And the neurologist said, Ava will show us how Ava's going to recover from this. So fortunately, and I say fortunately because that's how I feel, by the time Luke was diagnosed, I knew we could check off the really big things with Ava. She was hitting her milestones. Mm-hmm. She was walking. Mm-hmm. She was talking. I was really intentional as a mom that I didn't get lazy with that 5th baby. And, by the grace of God, she's now a freshman up at Taylor University.
Yeah.
But she's fought hard to overcome a lot of obstacles. Luke is then diagnosed, and for 3.5 years, I have to spoon feed chemo into him every single day.
Wow.
On top of infusions and bone marrows and spinal taps and everything that comes. And, I'm certain a lot of people that look at this that have walked that path will know exactly what I'm talking about. It mm-hmm. consumes your life. Mm-hmm. And so during that time, I spent a lot of time sitting around tables with doctors, pacing the halls at night, knowing that we needed good medicine and good doctors to save my son's life. Mm-hmm. It could also be that very same medicine that took my son's life. Yeah. It's a lot to take in. Yeah. Yet I also came to realize how miraculous our bodies are when we can nourish them. Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do when you're in crisis. Mm-hmm. But I think that was my very beginning days of, just really identifying what our bodies are able to do.
What they're capable of.
Yet at the same time, this was really interesting, at the same time, the things we would do to get the medicine into Luke, often it was the junky food, to take medicine with, so it was all kind of coming to a head at once of, yet again, you do what you need to do. Yeah. You do what you need to do. But I think that was the real first aha moment, because I saw what Luke's body had to go through. And then, maybe, let me backpedal a little bit. Maybe the real aha moment came as I watched him rebuild. Mm-hmm. After 3.5 years of chemo, because we literally took his body down to nothing.
Right.
And I remember the doctor saying towards the end there, it will take Luke a full year to recover, just even physically, strength and whatnot. And that gives you, this isn't a quick bounce back.
Right.
So
that's just one step of the recovery process.
So as I think about it, that's probably when I really thought, okay, how can we support this even better?
Right.
And as then life continues to progress, I realized what happened to me as a mom during just those instances alone.
Yeah.
You put yourself at the bottom of the to-do list, just by default. When you are in those situations with your children, you try to hold on as best as you can, but I realized what the stress had done to me over those years. And that was when I started thinking, okay, what am I putting on our plates? How can I better support our family nutritionally, physically, emotionally, mentally? I always fall back to the saying, we are what we eat.
Yeah.
And, just more than anything, I think there's been a lot. That's just kind of a highlight reel. But I think, how can I prepare myself to have a strong foundation? Because life throws us hard curveballs. It just does.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. And if it's not now, and that's not a gloom and doom. It's just life is hard.
It's our privilege as humans.
Yes, it's what comes with it, right? Yeah. And how can I best support not only me, but my family in being equipped to step onto the hard roads when they come our way, because they will. And they're going to be hard, but what can we control?
Yeah.
And that's our internal strength, by how we nourish it, by what we feed our mind and our body. So all of that was kind of a culmination from, and Ava, my baby girl, is now 19 going on 20. So when I say decades, I can truly say decades of kind of finding that path.
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough when it gets hard, but if our bodies aren't equipped to support us,
it's even harder.
And you have to dig out even deeper, which I've done. Again, anything we talk about, it's all because I've walked it, and I've learned through falling down pretty hard.
Yeah.
What that looks like.
Yeah. Wow. So let me ask you this. This time sounds like you were navigating a lot. It's like you have kind of the overlap of one child's diagnosis and another diagnosis. You have your family that you're navigating, your own life that you're navigating. And as someone myself who has navigated and is currently and will continue to be navigating the medical system and knows how hard and taxing it can be.
Yes.
My biggest question for you is, when you started to notice and see what changes needed to be made, where did you even begin to create the space to make those changes amidst everything that's going on?
Yes.
How do you break years of patterns and start to introduce new patterns when you're already in a moment of all of this is new?
Right.
All of this is unstable and I'm trying to find my way, not just for myself, but for all these humans around me who are all learning how to eat and grow and navigate our bodies and our relationship with our bodies.
Yes, that's a great question. And, talk about generational patterns, right? And I would say it was such a slow progression. And again, when the kids get together, it's very funny because they have two different experiences, and granted, my oldest, we were navigating 5 busy lives, drive-throughs through, before practices because there wasn't time. And, so life changes. And I think so much of it is being okay to welcome the change and not be so hard pressed on, no, this is what it is. To be honest, I think as I look back, it was probably work that I started up here of slowing down. To become aware. Wellness is creating space.
Can we just pause here for a moment and just let that settle in for a second? Because
creating space.
It's really that simple.
Creating space for wellness. And through that, it started for me. Again, all of our stories are different. Similar to my mom, I'm not a super huge fan of cooking. Just to be real. Partially because that's probably how I grew up. Now, my grandma was a beautiful cook. We always wondered why those genes weren't passed on here. But, it is in the family. My brothers love to cook, but me not so much.
And 3 meals a day is a full-time job.
And with a lot of kids who all, I remember we would go through it. I would let each one of them pick a meal a night, knowing, okay, every week somebody was going to be excited, but truly my rotation of food was brats, spaghetti, tacos, cheeseburgers. Then there was one other, number 5, probably a breakfast dinner. And that's what we did. And that's just It's what it was.
Yeah.
But when I started to create that space to how it can look different, and I remember one of the first things that became an aha moment for me was, my kids were always very respectful about the kitchen. And again, I grew up and my mom always, kitchen's closed after dinner. We weren't allowed to go in, open anything up. Kitchen's closed.
Oh, wow. Out of business.
Out of business because she didn't want the mess. And, I guess we couldn't clean up after ourselves. Kitchen's closed. I just thought of that.
Did you ever sneak into the closet
and yes,
and
especially
hiding
as
in the closet drinking maple syrup? And
I would come home at night and I'd make toast and with honey and peanut butter, and I thought, I hope this isn't wafting upstairs. That was. But again, it was just very the boundaries were firm.
Yeah.
So, anyways, fast forward. I remember my kids would be kind and, Mom, can I have a snack? And I remember the shift of when I would say yes, but nothing from a package. So it was starting to bubble up within me, I think, before I even realized it.
Yeah.
Nothing that's in a package, nothing that you have to open. So fruit, things that grew from the earth. I look back on that. That was probably a good 10, 12 years ago, but I thought, wow, I was beginning to expand in that sense. I think before I even realized it, of connecting the dots to, our nutrition and how it made us feel.
Yeah.
So small baby steps. Nothing I have done has been radical or extreme. I still work on it.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process. I think balance is key. Mm-hmm. This is not extreme one way or the other. But when we feel good, we show up differently.
Yes.
We lead better.
Yes.
We love better.
Mm-hmm.
When we are able to love ourselves, to fuel ourselves with what our body needs.
Yeah.
And our bodies are designed to work off of real food.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you don't go treat yourself to the ice cream place up the street because it's fun and but it's balanced.
But it's about ratio.
Yes.
It's about more of the good stuff than the bad stuff. So your body has the things that it can use, that it needs to regenerate, to get itself through the day.
Yes. I started about 11 years ago now. I started really focusing on my gut health. That was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Because again, when our gut is well balanced and in balance with the good microbiome and the good gut bacteria, and you weed out the bad stuff, again, it's amazing when you feel well, you want to eat well, you want to take care of yourself because everything's working.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. It sounds like you were able to come to this realization based on your own lived experience. Mm-hmm. What was your experience navigating this change with your kids, with your family? Mm-hmm. How did they take to
receive it?
Yeah, especially with varying degrees of experience with their own health, with the world, were they like, oh, we love kiwi, bring it? Or they're like, I like anything that is like fruity or hairy, don't bring it, I won't eat it. How receptive were they to these changes?
I have such a great pack.
Yeah.
I really do. I have such a strong pack, and that is one of my prouder mom victories, to be honest, because that's not easy to, create a family unit that trusts and supports and lifts up. And we have our stuff. But, I think as a mom, I look back and the one thing I will feel if I can do well is to empower them to make their own decisions, to lead by example. I don't know when I was 20 if I'd be, wanting to do all the things that I'm doing now, but I know it's seeds that are being planted.
Yeah.
They're all adults now.
Yeah.
And I'd say, they're all making really good decisions. But again, it's about balance, and it's about finding what works right for you. They're all their own individuals. Nothing is force feed, for lack of a better word. But, again, if I can lead by example as a mom and give, they've watched me walk the walk.
Yep.
And come back out standing.
Yep.
So there's something to it. So, do they still, love, can I drop names like driving through Chick-fil-A? And, we love a good pizza night.
Yeah.
Right? So again, this isn't an either or.
No, we still do pizza night.
Yeah, but it's okay, if I'm feeling like junk today, let me look back. What did I do yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
How do I eat? How does too much sugar make me feel if I'm being real?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I've got a lot of brain fog today, what's going on?
Yeah.
So, and again, a lot of my transition happened when probably my older three were already gone.
Okay.
But it's been really fun as a mom to watch all of them navigate their health and, how they approach things, challenges that they face. It's really, in my opinion, it's equipping them with how to do life.
Right.
So
to be able to navigate it.
Be able to navigate
their own and know that they have the support if they need it, but that they feel resourced to be able to do it.
And the tools. And again, yes, nutrition, but also, our mindset. What are the words we're feeding ourselves?
Well, yeah, that's what because a lot of people really don't understand the direct relationship between what we eat and our mental health as well. It's directly related. The nutrients that we need to get those brain chemicals balanced.
1000%.
Very, very important. Yeah. So it literally does affect everything.
Absolutely. We are what we eat, and your gut microbiome is a huge, the gut-brain connection. It's a magnificent loop.
Yeah.
And our serotonin, our dopamine, our melatonin, all of that is produced in our gut.
So going back to before, when you said, when I asked what were your models growing up in your house and watch anything packaged, and then in your trajectory, the shift for you started to change, like the moment you notice, like, actually anything not packaged probably is going to start to be better.
Yes.
But that when we're learning new habits and we're trying to implement them into our systems, I personally think that the most powerful resource for us is modeling. I think that we are humans, we are mammals, like by nature. We model, we mirror what our parents do, what our caretakers do, even at a deeper level than what we're taught or told.
Right.
We do. So I think it's such a powerful testament that the strongest path for you to teach your children about health was to be it and model it for yourself. Yeah. Because that relates with my journey so much, because I watched my own mother struggle with her health. I watched Western medicine fail her in finding solutions. I watched her seek out other solutions. I watched her travel to many different places to try to find the answers that she needed. I watched her find the answers that she needed in Eastern modalities. Okay. And I watched her heal herself, and we started with Pop-Tarts, packaged food. I mean, my favorite snack was I would heat up a bowl of melted cheese and eat it with a spoon. Like that was a snack that I liked. But then slowly, and I was sick all the time as a kid, and I didn't realize why. I didn't realize hiding in the cupboard and drinking that maple syrup at night was doing damage to my body, or sitting on the countertop and eating flour, I kid you not, out of the flour jar.
Wow.
It's like, what was my body, my gut
Yes.
craving that I was up there like, flour, I need flour.
Wow.
But then I started to see what my mother was going through in her journey, and slowly these little changes started to happen.
Yes.
Like slowly the microwave disappeared, and it's like, wait, why don't we have a microwave? Oh, well, it's harmful for the food. Oh, okay. And now there's like this little thing called a Suma board on the table that we have to set the groceries on when we bring them home from the grocery store to like recharge them with their nutrients. And like slowly things in the house started to change. And I'm like, okay, less Pop-Tarts, more home cooked, less packaged. I see where we're going here, but I kind of miss the old food. Like, what's happening? But I wasn't ready to take that journey yet because I didn't have the lived experience yet. But that modeling was such a staple imprint in my mind and in my psyche that as I got older and as I started to realize, like when I got to college, for instance, and I started to realize, you know, of course you get to college, when most people start to dabble in, you know, drinking. I started to realize, oh, if I consume this, I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get really sick. I can't actually treat my body like this in the same way my fellow students can. It won't sustain it. And then the pieces start to put together and I start to realize, well, if I abstain from these things, I feel better. It lasts longer. And as soon as I fall back on these patterns, I start to get sick again. And so now it's like people ask me, oh, why don't you drink? I'm like, because it makes me feel awful and it's expensive. Why do you, you know? It's like when you start to put the pieces together, but it can only come from the lived experience, but the lived experience is reinforced by what we see and what is revealed to us. So I think that's such a powerful testament to how you approached motherhood. Thank you. Because it's so important to, like you said, from the beginning, like lead over force. Because I feel like, especially with children and everyone has such sensitive palates and sensitive relationships with their body that it has to be a personal exploration over time. Like there's no way around it.
No. And I think, you know, there's a reason why kids are kids and, you know, we give them room to grow and to experience and to find their way.
And then you have to,
and then they spread their wings. And college is usually that first, right? I always have shared with each one of them, you know, college is such a great time because you're flying from the nest, but you still have a little safety net. But it's that chance to see, okay, what works for me? And, you know, so I think personally the best way is to, you know, to quietly be leading, especially, you know, once we get to that age, right? Because I don't know, me as a kid, if somebody, you know, went like that,
I'd do the opposite.
And work really hard to do so. Right? You know, so just giving them that room to breathe and to also understand health looks different than, you know, it looks different for every person. But, you know, again, I think growing up for me, you know, whole lot of words about being skinny and this and that. And I kind of look at that as, you know, a 4-letter word, right? It's about being strong. It's about loving your body and your body shape and your body size and, you know, doing right by it. You know, we were all created differently and unique. And, you know, so learning to just know your body and taking care of it. You know, I always say we have this one house to live in. You know, treat it like that. By how we take care of it. So I think, and again, you said it perfectly modeling for what we can hope for our kids, right? Because so much of life is about experiences. And while, you know, I have a whole host of experiences, you know, they don't yet in their adult lives. But they're tools to reach for.
So, how has this experience intertwined with your relationship with your work? I know we have Rooted Within Wellness now, but this is a new
adventure.
Yeah. And so what came before Rooted Within Wellness, and what led to you wanting to create?
That's such a full question.
I know.
It is such a full question. Well, as I mentioned, I've had a decade of learning about gut health and nurturing gut health, which has been a life changer for me because, again, when you feel well, you show up differently in the world.
Yeah.
You're excited to wake up and get after life.
Yeah.
And that came with finding better wellness. And since it's a special time here in Chair Chat, I'll share. I recently lost someone so important in my life, my partner in life, about 15 months ago.
Wow.
And that experience took me down a whole different path.
Was it expected or sudden?
No, it was tragedy.
Unexpected.
Yep,
I'm
unexpected.
So sorry.
And so, we talked about a few other challenges I had with my kids early on, and those pale in comparison to what this has looked like as a walk through grief.
Mm-hmm.
And yet that walk through grief really had me practicing a lot of what I've learned over life.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we mentioned earlier, create that foundation, I thought thank God I had that foundation, because it quite possibly is the hardest thing I've walked through yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've walked through some hard things.
Mm-hmm.
This one I crawled through, but I had the foundation, and I knew what I personally needed to do. People's walk through grief looks different. There's no one story that looks alike. So this is just personal to me, right? But I knew what I personally needed to do to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll always mention a friend who very early on said, do this work now so you can come back to us whole.
Yeah.
And boy, did that strike me, because the pain was so significant, I couldn't even put words to it. It was so big and so very scary. I can see why it's hard for people to do, and it's easier to put in a box often.
Compartmentalize.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
But I heard that, do the
Yeah.
work. And so I did. So for a good year and a half, I have quieted down. I've listened to what my body needs. I've leaned into the hard things.
Yeah.
But I've also just created that space. And in that space, something beautiful has been born. And that's rooted within.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I often refer to beauty for the ashes, this is that. Because I wouldn't have had to tap into this space as significantly as I did had I not have lost Mike.
Right.
That's just facts.
Right.
But walking through that, I found that space to sit quietly, which is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit with your own
Feelings?
Super hard. But it brought me to this beautiful space of creating Rooted Within Wellness. And what Rooted Within is retreat gatherings for parents who have walked or are walking through medical complexities with their children. So, a simple way that I like to reference it is anything as a parent that has turned your world upside down, medically speaking, with your child.
Yeah.
So not just cancer, not just, brain hemorrhages, but truly there's such a huge umbrella that we walk with daily, with challenges that we've had with our children.
Mm-hmm.
Things that we thought was going to be a normal life turns into anything but normal.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rooted Within creates these spaces where there are weekend retreats, and we bring in tools and resources and restoration, nutrition, you know, all the things that I was grappling for as a mom, but couldn't find. And I think back to it, and it's, you know, I'll reference back to being in the infusion room with Luke. For 3.5 years, we'd have to go in and, you know, you'd have to get monthly infusions. And the social worker would always come by and, you know, check on us and what do you need? And I remember sitting there pleading with her, like, I just need help. I have these 4 other kids at home. You know, I have a very sick little boy. You worry about your healthy kids as much as you do your sick one.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, I just need help. And, you know, she would give me a resource or a book title or something. And then I'd be back at home and I'd just be holding on again until I got back there. And, you know, that's who I'm trying to reach with these retreats is, you know, are those people who are raising their hand and saying, I just need some support.
Yeah.
And whether you're in the trenches right now or whether it's 10 years down the road and you're looking back wondering what just happened and where did I go? That's who this is for. And, you know, I always think I have a lot of lived experience, yet I'm bringing in facilitators truly from all over the world who I've worked with over decades with their expertise. Yeah, we're talking mindfulness and breath work, sound healing, you know, movement, yoga, all the things that when you're in the trenches often fall off the list.
Right. So you've essentially taken everything that you've built as a toolkit for you to navigate these things and tailored it into a retreat.
Yes.
To gift to people navigating similar experiences.
Exactly. And, you know, and I think the biggest part that I'm so excited about is the community aspect of it. Because when you are walking through a challenge, a health challenge, it's super easy to be isolated because you do not relate with anybody else's normal.
Right.
And to be honest, that, you know, maybe that softens a little bit, but that's still very much.
And we also live in a society that's very sick phobic. Like,
yes,
there's a deep phobia of illness, death,
right,
anything in this realm of not being resilient, strong, healthy, and living forever. You know, so it's hard. Some people fall away. It can be very isolating. It can be very lonely.
Yes, super isolating, and to find people to connect with, you know, and that's what I'm excited about. A lot of things about the retreat, but I'm so excited at the idea of this first one that I'm hosting is just for women, but to have women together that truly will be coming from every different background, story, you know, history with their child. You know, there are no boundaries. You know, we will have all walks of life and diagnoses, yet there will be one commonality, and that is a big piece of their heart is walking through or has walked through something that has forever changed their world. And what's cool in a space like that is no words need to even be spoken about that. You know, we just know. But to allow that space for them to find community and comfort in one another is going to be really special because it is very isolating. And you don't connect because you aren't out running on the soccer fields or, you know, at the dance classes. Your normal is different. So I'm going to be creating these little pockets of normal. And my hope is that every woman will leave with even just one additional tool that is going to anchor them when they have to walk back into a stormy time or a storm is to come in the future, something that can just allow them to drop their anchor and go, oh yeah, this I can control. I can.
I love that image of dropping the anchor. It's such a strong image.
Yes.
And I love the language of rooted within wellness that you've chosen because I don't have children. I'm not caretaker. I, in this scenario, am the one receiving care from my parents as caregivers and the health crises that I've navigated. But, you know, like I said at the beginning of this call, I never thought I'd end up in this chair. I've been in New York, I've been in LA, I've been started in Indiana, back in Indiana. And there's so much upheaval and uprooting that can come with these, that the thing that really is your anchor is your wellness practice. And what I've come to learn is that that looks different for everyone and everybody. And what excites me about this retreat is it gives people a chance to explore a wide variety of different modalities to find what might be the right toolkit for them.
For certain.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. You can look on our website under the facilitators, and I love it because they're all special people in my life that truly I have tapped into and have helped me stand back up time and time and time again.
Yes.
And yet you look at the facilitators, and regardless of what your path looks like, my hope is people will be able to identify with, oh, you know, that speaks to me, or I want to learn more about that. And again, it's all things that, you know, our strength and our power lies within.
Yeah.
But often it's hard to know what that looks like if we haven't ever experienced it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to do a little discovering, but especially, you know, when your world gets turned upside down due to a health crisis, and it could be acute, it could be chronic. You know, I, again, look at Luke's cancer as a blessing. We had a start date and we had an end date.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have an
get
end
that
date.
blessing. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we're blessed. We are blessed beyond measure.
Yes.
Through our walks. And to now be in the position where, you know, I can look back over life and think, you know, I was preparing and being guided to growing strong and standing back up time and time and time again, to be able to now turn around and offer this to other families who are walking through the storms.
Yeah. I know the one thing that I know is that a lot of, you know, trauma-informed healers talk about how it's not actually the traumatic event that creates the damage. It's having to navigate it and go through it alone.
Yes.
So that when times like this happen, you know immediately, I need my resources around me.
Yes.
And it takes time to kind of understand. I remember when I first got here in May, and this for me was coming off of 4 surgeries over the course of last year that I navigated, that my parents dropped to come and caretake me because it was an acute situation. I was in the hospital in septic shock, and it was surgery or die. And I got back here on the other side, and after surgeries, after selling my house, after moving, after unemployment, and, you know, I got here and I started to build my foundation again. And then I got the news that I needed to have another surgery, that the 4 surgeries that I had already had didn't work. After pain, money, time, I couldn't sit all of last year. So the surgeries were colorectal. When I got the information that I needed to have a surgery, the first thing I thought to myself was, you have to call someone. You can't navigate this alone. And you're going to want to. But right now, you need to call people and you need to ask for support. And that was a new turning point for me, because in the past, I would have tried to do it alone. But something about what I just been through told me, okay, it's time, you know, schedule the therapy. Schedule 3 therapies if you need to. Call your mom, call your friends, call and say, hey, I need support. The more that we can not just lean into the breathing exercises and the walks, and those are essential and amazing, but the community is equally essential. It's non-negotiable,
Right.
the community, to navigate this. We all at some point in our lives will be caretaking or need a caretaker. We don't get around that.
Right.
It's just about when it is our turn.
Yes.
So to be able to come together in community and shared experience is the most powerful salve that I've witnessed and navigated.
Yes.
And then to be able to balance these with, I don't know what it is for you. I'm eager to find out. I'm going to ask you here in a second. For me, it was sound healing. When I found sound healing, I was like, oh, this is my thing. This is what I wake up to. This is what I go to bed to. This is what grounds me in the middle of the day. Just finding those things that like, this recharges me, and holding to it like non-negotiably. Even if I have a 14-hour work day, I'm making time for 2 sound healing sessions, even more than 1, because I need that extra resource to be able to get through it. And it's non-negotiable. So starting to like navigate those relationships with myself have come out of these experiences that I've had. And I'm excited about this retreat and what it can offer to folks, because it's just a whole smorgasbord of tools and modalities that can help ground you and center you in these times where you need help holding. Yes. And if you're holding anybody, you need holding yourself.
1000%.
Period.
Yes. And, I feel like the pendulum is swinging a little bit back to the importance of taking care of ourselves. And, self-care has become a little bit of a buzzword, but we got to take care of ourselves. Call it whatever you want, right? It's you can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah. And, I used to think busy was a badge of honor. It made me a good mom. I could spin all the plates, wear all the hats, put food on the table. Right. And that made me a good mom. And I love the shift that has come with stillness is what makes me a good mom, and learning how to quiet the noise is what's making me a good mom. To create boundaries of, this is what I need to be able to then step back in and show up well. That's what makes me a good mom.
Because when you slow down, you get to take yourself with you.
1000%.
When you go fast, people often end up leaving themselves behind until their body says, hey, I'm back here. I'm going through it. Did you notice?
Signal.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, we live in a world that we are, it's becoming more and more fast-paced, notifications, being plugged in. And I don't know, again, my personal opinion, but, we're designed to evolve. The world's going to keep evolving. Our role is to learn how to do so, but still protecting that space. Yeah. To continue to grow and evolve with everything that's coming, right? But stay true to you. Remember who you are and protect the space. And it's okay to step out of it. Yeah. So, it's just, I love the fact that you have found sound healing. That's going to be, I don't know if you saw that. That's one of my, candlelight sound healing. Changed my world.
Yeah.
I can look at each one of those facilitators and say, changed my world, and that's what it is about finding what's going to work. Yes. Whether you're in crisis or whether you just want to build a strong foundation.
Yeah. In preparation for anything that might come.
Right.
Okay. So my question for you is, what has been your favorite tool and modality to turn to keep you rooted within wellness during these times?
Yes. That's a loaded question. Is there only one? To keep me grounded. And again,
what's your immediate go-to if you're like, I'm in the weeds. I barely have 30 seconds to a minute, but I need a moment to drop into myself.
I would drop in both mindfulness and meditation.
Okay.
Just finding that stillness, trying to empty my mind.
Yeah.
Take the deep breaths, deep breathing. It's free.
Yeah.
We all have it, and it lowers your cortisol. It recenters you. It tells your body you're safe. So if I'm looking at a hard press, I need to get myself recentered. It truly is turning off
Yeah.
unplugging. And I do that several times a day. I start my day with it, non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I do a midday break, get myself back to the space where I know I work best from, and I go to bed with it.
Yeah. When you feel that heart start racing.
Yes.
Just taking that moment to pause.
100%. And, mindfulness is truly just that, just the awareness and meditation.
Yeah.
And movement. I'll throw in one more.
That's why I like a good walk outside, because you get all of them. Sometimes I'll even stop and just touch a tree.
Yes.
Just to reconnect with something natural, material.
There's something real to all of that.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean you have to, be at some big gym, hours worth of no. It's just being mindful of moving your body.
Sometimes
stretching.
I even slow down and tell myself to walk in slow motion just to the car. Because you know how you're rushing to get somewhere, you run into the car. And I'm like, what happens if I don't run to the car? And I'm just like,
good for you.
Take my time. And then I'm like, oh, this is actually a nice parking garage. Yeah. Wow, what a nice home for my car to live in. I noticed so many more things.
Notice things.
Yes.
Well, there's something to be said about how often do we drive someplace that we drive all the time, and then we think back and I don't remember driving here, right? Because we are on such autopilot.
Yeah.
So truly trying to take a different route, make your brain work, and thinking of, versus that autopilot that so many of us find ourselves on. And again, myself included, right?
Yeah.
I used to run in the fast lane and I loved it. I felt like I thrived in there. That was that time and that space of my life. But being open to, okay, things might look different, and that's okay too, just to explore what might make you feel more whole, rested, grounded.
Right. And then that exploration starts in the pause. In the slowing. So when is the retreat? Where is the retreat? How can people find you? How can people sign up for it if they have questions and want to know more about it? Where can we find information?
Thank you. Well, the first retreat is February 20th to the 22nd in Brown County.
Oh, my favorite part of Indiana. I grew up in Columbus, so I can confidently say it's the most beautiful part of the state.
It is. I say it's a slice of heaven in the middle of Indiana. It is so well, and that's the one consistency, and I'll have retreats all over, but the one consistency will be that it's infused in nature.
Yeah.
Right? That's so much of the premise is just being able to take that deep breath, or, just being engulfed in beauty.
Yeah.
So it's in Brown County, February 20th, and the website is rootedwithinwellness.llc.org. And on there you can see all the information of the retreats and the dates, how to register. There are retreat questions on it. What I love is we have scholarships available, full scholarships and partial scholarships. So cost is never a barrier for someone who is raising their hand and saying, I need this now.
Reach out, ask.
Yes. And all of my contact information is on the website. So certainly, please feel free to send any kind of questions or anything that I can help with. This is a heart project born out of experience, born out of need.
Oh, yes.
And something that I am so passionate about providing, simply because I've walked the walk and I saw what I desperately was searching for and couldn't find.
Yeah. Ugh. I'm in awe of you. You are such an incredible human being, and it's been such a joy to sit down and chat with you.
Oh, I could go on forever and
I
ever
know.
with you. Thank you for having it. Truly, it's such an honor. Such an honor. I can't wait to see everything that happens here for you and in the community. It is such a special place, and you feel it when you walk in the door.
And this is just the beginning.
I
have no idea where it's going to go, but I'm so excited.
Well, you're open to it, and you're taking the steps, and
Yeah.
that's where the beauty begins. So I can't wait to watch you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us for our first episode of the Chair Chat Conversations. Please check out Vicky and her retreats, Rooted Within Wellness at rootedwithinwellness.org.
rootedwithinwellness.org. But we are a nonprofit as well.
Awesome.
So just to add that in.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your guys' day, and we'll see you next time.